Mr. Shields. How are you, my friend? How are you? My name is
I'm great, man.
my name is Jalik. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. I know you've been in the game for a minute. Like, when you was little, did you always aspire to be like a boxing trainer or just a boxer, or you wanted to be like a lawyer or
Absolutely,
something?
absolutely not. I I want to be a football player,
Okay.
and but I had so many of my friends. They was all boxers, amateur boxers, and so I was 13 years old. I was, and I just went to middle school. I was in the seventh grade. I went out for the football team. I made it, and then like 2 weeks later, they decided to close our school down, ship us to another school. And when I went to the other school, and I already made the football team, so I I was happy. I was gonna play football, and so when I got to the other school, they told me I had to retry out because it was a lot of new people who wanted to play football, and so we had to do the whole thing all over again, and that really made me mad. So some of my friends say, "Hey, just come with us to the gym." And so I'm 13 years old, so I said, you know what? I just go to the gym with these guys, and forget football. I just start boxing. And I did, and been in it ever since.
Wow. So I'm saying that you fighting in the amateurs against people like Aaron Pryor? Because I see he was National Golden Gloves in like '78. Who are some famous people that you like went against in the amateurs?
I fought Tommy Hearns twice in amateurs. I fought Howard Davis. I fought Ray Leonard. I mean, I fought some of the best guys ever. I never fought Aaron Pryor. Aaron and I I was always one division up than Aaron.
Oh, okay.
Wow. And how was that with Sugar Ray, man? Like how did that one go?
Oh, it went, I mean, it was a good fight. We fought in the quarterfinals of the Olympic trials, and
Uh,
I lost a decision to him. It was a close fight, though, but close don't count in
uh,
boxing. So, but it was a good fight.
Man, it's just a honor to have you on, man, because you great in this, man. We just want to give you respect, man. You know what I'm saying? This is excellent, man.
I
Um,
appreciate you guys having me.
oh man, anytime, man. And let me ask you, so if we can touch on this Wilder Fury rematch, man, what would you think about how that all played out, man? If you can.
Well, I think right from the get go, when they were showing Deontay in the dressing room, I just felt he was worried about something. All the pacing he was doing, walking back and forth, back and forth. I mean, I didn't know what was up with that. I've never seen him like that before. So I knew something was on his mind, just didn't know what. But, and it really showed when he got in there in the first round. Fury had a game plan, and Wilder just didn't look like he had a game plan. If he did, he didn't follow it because, Fury just jumped right on top of him. And maybe they didn't expect for Fury to jump on top. I mean, I don't know. But Fury used his weight against him. He was leaning on him. And, the thing about it is Wilder didn't know what to do when he started leaning on him. He didn't know how to get underneath and make Fury get off balance and stuff like that. That's just something he didn't work on, and that really hurt him bad. And then, he had no legs. I mean, right from the beginning. And you can't blame him on the suit. That's the worst thing in the world is to start making excuses when you're fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Don't make excuses. Give Fury his props. Fury was ready. He had a great game plan, and he used it against him, and it worked. And Wilder just lost. And people are blaming Mark Wheeler for doing something
Hmm.
that a trainer, that's his job. His job is to train him, but to look after him also, to save him from himself. And that's what Mark Wheeler did. He saved him from himself. And but to tell you the truth, if I was in a corner,
Hmm.
I would have to fight 2 rounds earlier.
Oh, see, I was gonna ask you that. You got right to my question. So so what did you see that you saw? He just wasn't there at that point, or you just at,
Well, his right hand wasn't there. You know, sometimes when a guy depends on, when a fighter depends too much on one punch, you know, it can really work against you. And it did. It worked against him because he couldn't land it. You know, His jab wasn't there. He had nothing.
Mm.
So when you get in and you have a guy who's getting hit and getting dropped, getting hurt with everything he's getting hit with, you know, as a trainer, you know, you have to not only have sympathy for your fighter, but you have to protect him. That's your job, is to protect your fighter. And that's exactly what Mark Breland did. And he got a lot of flack, not from the fans, but from his own corner,
Hmm.
you know, which was ridiculous to me. You know, I mean, I, you know, I didn't understand that. And I still to this day don't understand it. You know, I talk to Mark all the time. Mark is one of my best friends. And we talk all the time. And, you know, he just couldn't believe that they was acting the way they was acting toward him. You know, and after the fight, he said he went back, got his bag, and left. You know, because everybody was mad at him for doing something that he was supposed to do.
Yes.
If Deontay would have got killed in that ring, you know, they would have asked, why didn't you stop it? You know? So it was a no-win situation for Mark. And I feel sorry that he had to go through that. He didn't deserve to go through that. And, you know, it was just too much flack that he was catching for something that he was supposed to do. That's his job. That's what you pay him for. You pay him not only to train you, but to protect you in that ring.
I hear you. Go ahead, Jaleel. You got something?
You had a question. As a trainer, is it easier for you to train an orthodox fighter, or is it easier for you to train a southpaw, or doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter to me. I know how to train both. I've been training both since I was a young kid. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me. I, you know, I know both styles. So, you know, it's easy for me to do one or the other.
And and
Okay.
and also as a trainer, like what can, because one thing I notice about Wilder is his balance. Like what, as a trainer, is it specific exercises you do to work on her balance, or what is it that you do to help a fighter with the balance?
Well, you know, it's a lot of things that you can do to help the balance, but he got to be willing to do it. You know, that's the thing. But this is why you call it training. You
Right.
know, you have to spend time and you know, and it takes a lot of time to work on balance, but that's something every fighter should do every day, not just because you're fighting a certain guy. You know, balance is one of the most important things a fighter has to have in order to get his punches off, especially a heavyweight like Deontay who can punch, you know, with the big right hand that he has. You know, if he didn't have any balance whatsoever, it's why the right hand wasn't there. And he couldn't set up nothing because they had no legs.
Um, being from how was it like? You from Port Arthur, Texas, right?
Yes,
That's where
yes,
Dennis Joplin's from, right?
yes, she
And
is.
UG Pimp C and Bun
Yep,
B,
and
Stephen
Bombay.
Jackson. Let
Yep,
me ask you this: besides boxing, I see that I'm a Gemini myself, and most Geminis got many talents. What other gifts did you have besides being a boxer player? I'm sure you got more than one, bro. What other gifts you got?
right. Like I said, I was good at football. You know,
Oh, okay.
football was gonna be my thing. You know, I wanted to be a football player since I was like I can ever remember. You know, my father and I used to watch the Dallas Cowboys when I was like 6, 7 years old, and from then I wanted to be a football player. So, and you know, then we used to watch the Friday night fights also. You know, with Ali, Frazier, Foreman, you know, Ron Lyle. I mean, all of those guys. You know, I paid attention to everything, but football was my thing.
So football or tech for Florida or Texas got the best football players, and who the best running back in history? Walter
In
Payton,
history,
Peters. Yeah, Walter Payton, Adrian Peterson. He's from Texas.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Texas have a lot of good players in the league today too. But back then, yeah, man, Texas always had good good running backs, good defensive players. You know, so we always had guys in the spotlight.
Yeah, my favorite running back in history is one of my favorites is Eric Dickerson.
Yeah,
Played
yeah,
for Texas, right? Yeah, I like Eric.
yeah, yeah. I met him. I met him a few times. He was a hell of a running back.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to we have Finks Art Boxing. He says, "What's up, Mr. Ronnie Shields? Salute, Finks Art of Boxing." There's another question here, man. It's from Unbiased or unbiased or biased boxing talk. Yeah, he wants me to ask you about the Andrade fight. Any comments on?
I was about to ask you because I had to warm up for that.
Go ahead. You can ask.
I was warming up for that.
Well, fighters always talk between themselves, but fighters can't make fights. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a need for a promoter. It wouldn't be a need for a manager. And the thing about it is, his manager Eddie Hearn, he talks to the fighter. He doesn't talk to Jamal's manager, who is Al Heyman. Now, why is that? Is it because he don't want to fight, or I don't know what it is. So, but me as a trainer, I stay out of it. I let them tell me, the manager call me and say, here's this is who we're fighting. We're fighting this guy. Okay. So my job as a trainer is to prepare my fighter for the fight. And that's simple as that. But fights are made between managers and promoters. So they know who to call if they want to fight Jamal Charlo.
Ask him Unbiased wants to know, how does Jamal beat? I don't know if he want to get, that might be giving up the game plan if they ever fight though, Unbiased. They don't want to give up no game plans. They tried to give up the game plan against Julian Williams. He was quiet about that one. Then at the end, I remember that situation. He ain't giving up no game plans on there. So is there particular boxers, like depending on what type of personality you have, that you absolutely wouldn't train? Because we all know that boxing is like, most of it is mental too. So I know it's challenging being a trainer. Is it just certain types that you just know, no matter how much money you offer?
Well, I mean, in the sport, man, it's a lot of politics in the sport of boxing. I mean, as you guys know, politics play a big part of it. Because number one, Jamal Charlo, he's with the PBC, with Al Heyman and the PBC. Andre is with Ed and his own. So who do you think would want to show it? They'll want to show it. Don't you think PBC might want to show it? So, it's all politics. So until they could come up with something like they did with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, they did a deal, and it ended up being on ESPN platform. So, well, I think it was on ESPN and Fox platform.
Yeah.
So, but a heavyweight fight, that's warranted. That you can have a split like that. You can't do that for really other fighters unless it was like a Mayweather Pacquiao, something like that.
Right.
You could do a split. So, but it's hard to do it with guys that's not pound for pound 1 and 2 in the world. So, that fight would be hard to get made.
But let me ask you, how do you see the Andre and Jamal? How do you see that fight playing out? If you can.
Well, I mean, look, it's a good fight because you got two of the top middleweights in the world fighting against each other. I mean, it's a good fight. It's no different than Danny Jacobs and Canelo. It turned out to be a good fight. A Triple G and Danny Jacobs, that turned out to be a good fight. I think it's the same. Of course, I think my guy wins, but it's still a good fight overall because you got two guys that know the sport, that both train hard, that, and they're both the world champions. So you can't expect nothing but a good fight.
I appreciate you coming in, taking your time out of your quarantine time. As far as, I got two quick questions. When do you see Efe Ajagba fighting for the championship, and what are your thoughts on Virgil Ortiz, another Texas guy, and also Jerron Boots Ennis as a fighter in the welterweight division?
Okay, well, let me go Efe first. Efe definitely part of a fight again this year, and and I think right now he got ranked number 12 by the WBA and number 14 by the WBC. So he's in the top 15 in the world. So I mean, I think that's a good thing. But his next fight, we want to fight somebody even better than who we fought last time. So we have to look for opponents, and then we'll see where we go. But definitely by the end, before the end of the year's out, it depends on when we go back. If we go back, say July, August, then everybody can get two more fights in this year, and it'd be somebody, hopefully within the top 15 in the world, that we fight our next fight. So we're looking for big things for FA. He's ready to go. He has a birthday coming up in the next couple of weeks. He'll be 26 years old. He's still a young guy. He's strong and he's ready to go. So, and that's it about FA. But who else you asked me about?
Virgil Ortiz and Jerrine.
Oh, Virgil Ortiz. Let me tell you something. This kid, Virgil Ortiz, this kid is good. He's really, really good. And, sometimes you have to let other fighters go before you say, you know what, I'm going to rush in and I want to fight the Errol Spencers, the Terrence Crawfords. I want to fight those guys right away, And sometimes you have to just let things be, settle into the division.
Right.
Once you settle into the division, then pick your spots. You don't always have to go and get the top spot right away, because that might be a big mistake. And, it's not that he's not ready for a guy to Errol Spence. I think he ought to just let Errol Spence them ride the wave, ride it out of the division. And then he's a young guy. So it's not like he's an older fighter that can't wait, a couple of years to say, you know what, let me just go ahead and bid my time, get my position in the top 2 in the world. And then let these guys go ahead, Manny Pacquiao, Errol Spence, these guys sooner or later, Manny probably in the next year or two could be out of boxing. Errol is going to be going up in weight. Let these guys, and Terrence Crawford probably too, he would probably have to follow Errol and them up in weight. And then this guy, him and Jeremy Ennis, they could be the top 2 guys in the welterweight division. Because let me tell you something, Boots Ennis, this kid can fight. He can fight, but he's in the same position, I think, as Virgil. Let these top guys get out of the way, and then follow in these guys' footsteps. Let them go, and or if the guys stay, but it's also a thing you could say that these guys can stay too long in the division.
Mm.
There's a possibility that they will stay too long in the division. And if you don't listen to your body sometimes, that can happen. But these guys, let me tell you, these guys are at Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis are at least a year to 2 years away from being in the top 5 pound for pound, because both guys are really that good.
Wow.
I hate to hold you up. I'm not sure what your time frame is, but we like boxing. We like boxing junkies, and we in the quarantine. Favorite fighters. So he upset me when I went to the fight and he quit versus Lomachenko. But how do you see him at 118 versus Monster Inoue?
Oh,
Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux.
Okay, my boy Rigo.
Rigondeaux, yeah, Rigo.
Hey, let me tell you something. That's a tough fight. But look, Rigondeaux, look, he's 39 years old. So it's not like he can wait
Right.
3, 4, 5 years to fight anybody.
Right.
Whoever he's going to fight, he's got to fight him now.
Mm-hmm.
And but like I say, this is why the virus stopped everything, because the plan was going to be, okay, go down to 115, fight, try to win that title 115, come back up to fight 18 and fight Inu. That was it. That was the fight.
He was going to go down to 115 and not just 118?
No, he was going to go down to 115 to fight for the WBC.
Oh,
fight, win that title and come back up to 118.
Oh, wow.
He just wanted to get another title. Look, again, the guy walks around at 121.
Oh, wow.
That's his walk around.
Why was he fighting at 120?
He should have been 18 a long time ago.
Yeah, why did he do that? He still was knocking people out. Wow, that's
crazy.
I
mean, but that just lets you know how talented this man is.
Wow.
Guillaume Oregano is one of the most talented fighters I've ever worked with. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy, he's he has everything. He has everything that a natural fighter is supposed to have, and he's a smart guy, you know. But the last couple of fights, I really had to jump on him a couple of times because all of a sudden he wants to be a guy to just stand and go toe to toe with guys, and and I really have to get on him about that. And as you saw the last fight, the first round, he went out and got in the middle with this guy instead of just boxing him like we worked on every day in the gym for 6 weeks. He didn't do that. And I had to really jump on him in the corner. But he finally got back on the outside, and you see the guy couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in the first round, the guy hit him with like 33 shots. In the last round, in the last 11 rounds, the guy on the landed like 29 shots in 11 rounds. So, and Guillaume almost knocked him out. He could have knocked him out if he would have paid attention to everything that that we worked on. He had him hurt, but then he didn't get it back. So, but I just kept him on the outside. I know the lead was big, so why take a chance? And the kid was young and was hungry and he was strong. So, but Guillaume did exactly what I wanted him to do from round 2 to 11.
Okay. Do you think Grigo? I mean, I know he's been a veteran of the game, but did he let the people get to him when sometimes you hear people booing, and we see him get out his character doing that toe to toe stuff. Is that what that is, or is it?
Well, that's what it was.
Yep.
He wants to be an exciting fighter. He wants to please the fans. But with his style, look, you have to be a boxing purist to like Guillaume Oregano because of his style. Look, moving and boxing, nobody's going to touch this kid. He's always in shape, always. I've never seen somebody as much as in shape as this kid is always in shape, always ready to go. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, never did, never will. That's just who he is. And he, I'm telling you, man, this kid he's something special.
Oh man, hey, and I appreciate it. I got 2 questions, but I don't want to keep you no more, man. We had you.
I got so many questions. Too,
Yeah, we got. Okay. Can we get in two quick ones?
Go ahead.
Sorry about that. Okay, there's one guy. He wants to know. Let's see. He says, do you have any tips for small boxers trying to beat tall boxers? Like, how does one overcome height?
Battle rifle.
Battle rifle. So ask that question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, look, if you're a small guy, and I have small guys that fight tall guys all the time, you have to know how to get on the inside. That's what you have to work on your inside game, but how to get there, and there's a lot of different ways you have to get there. Number one, you have to use your jab, number one. Number two, you need a lot of head movement, and bobbing and weaving. But, you have to know how to step in to the bob and weave in order to get close, to back the guy up. But then once you get there, you have to know how to stay there, because guys like to hold, but you have to know what to do when these guys trying to hold you. You got to bend, turn, and you have to do a lot of turning both ways in order to keep a guy from holding so much at the same time. You have to move your hands. So, it's not a difficult style. It's a very good style to have, and it's an exciting style to have because people love guys that throw punches and and like to go forward. So, but it's not a disadvantage. A lot of people think because they're short that they have a disadvantage. No, if you use your height in the right way, it can be a big advantage for you.
Oh man, that's definitely knowledge there for this guy. And one last question, man. And my last words. He wants to know, unbiased or biased, wants to know who do you think wins out of Andrade and Canelo?
I think Canelo wins. Look, Andrade is a good fighter. He's a good boxer, but sometimes when you haven't fought the best guys, the learning experience is not the same. I think with Canelo, Here's a guy who can punch. But at the same time, Andrade's style is a little different than Lara. When I had Lara to fight Canelo, as you saw, Lara moved side to side. He circled him, side to side, head movement, not standing right in front of him. He gave Canelo fits. Andrade can't fight that way. He don't have the ability to move side to side like Lara did. He don't have the ability to move the head and stuff that way. You can't stand in front of Canelo and go punch toe to toe with him. That's just not the right fight against a guy like Canelo because you want to make him have to look for you. With Andre, with his style is come forward also. So you got two styles that's coming forward. Andre is a good puncher, but he's not a big puncher. Canelo Alvarez is. He's a big puncher who can punch with both hands. And his, picked up his defense. His defense is really good. So if Andre were to stand and try to go toe to toe with Canelo, he gets knocked out.
Oh, yeah, that would be interesting because Andrade, yeah, he's slick, but yeah, I hear you on that, man. That's definitely
Yeah,
true.
he's slick, but he's slick. But there's a difference between being slick and being a mover. He's
Right.
not a mover, because being slick, okay, you got good side to side head movement. That's good. But there are punches to draw you into punches. You understand?
Yes.
And Canelo will be throwing wide shots to keep him in the middle for uppercuts and straight punches.
Mm.
Come on, if Andre ever fight Canelo, we don't have to have a friendly bet, like a donation bet, because I got Andre being the best at middleweight, 160. People be getting on me all the time. But do you have any social media, or do you have your own gym that you train out of, and do you accept donations for people that want to donate to your gym? Because I'm sure you help a lot of at-risk people and things like that.
Well, I just opened my gym late January.
Okay.
I just opened a new gym, and of course, we've been closed for the last month. So right now, we haven't got the social media thing set up yet. So right now, I'm not even on social media.
Okay. I appreciate you taking your time out to come answer some questions for us boxing junkies. We going through withdrawal without boxing right now. Appreciate it.
All right, man, no problem. You guys have a good day.
You too, Ronnie, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man.
All right,
Thanks.
thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay, bye.